and we said you cannot stir. You also cannot take out food with a ladle. That's when it's on the fire. Once it's off the fire, then you're halachically you're allowed to stir. But now Rebbe says you should be strict and not stir even when it's off the fire. So it's a chumrah, it's a stringency that even when the pot is off the fire, don't matter when it's completely cooked. If it's not completely cooked, you can never stir. It's completely cooked. Even if it's completely cooked, off the fire, you should be strict and not stir. However, off the fire, you could use a ladle. That's why it'd be stupid. Otherwise, you're about to scoop on challenge. That's not the. I mean, that's not the reason. There's a practical concern, but we don't go so far in the stringency only in terms of stirring, but you could take with a ladle when it's off the fire. Okay. Any questions on this? I want to go back to the chart. I want to complete the chart. We started yesterday. It wasn't happening with it. I'm just doing the whole thing over. Clear. Just clear about the stirring with the ladle, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have like this. Putting everything again, so whatever you had yesterday, it's going to be better. We're going to put everything in the board. So we start with clean Nisha and Vasho. Clean, reshine, the Vasho. Yad, Stiledes, and above. Writing and above. The reason why I'm writing this. Clearation has the ability to cook when it use out the space more. Okay. Gather more together. If it's Yatsi like this and above. Then you have over here finishing, and you have Eroi. You have Eroi. Can you see it? Eroi Rishine. It's the same thing. The Vashel from the outside lettuce. Obviously, because later on, Shane has to emphasize that it's below. You'll soon see by Klishani go in opposite directions. This is obvious, that's not above. Now, this is what it's the carbon Klishani. This here. This and below. We're not talking about above, because when it's above, it's hotter, it's a different category. That's why I'm emphasizing Yatzilidis and below. Let's put this in here. And below. Well, no, not below, not above. No, it's not below. Look at that one. Doesn't make sense. Yatzilidis, but not above. Because once it's below Yatzilidis, there is no problem. Why? Because Yatzilidis, but not above Yatzilidis. Okay? Yatzilidis, but we're not talking about above. Okay, Yatzilidis, talking about not above Yatzilidis. Okay, so here we have in the Bishul, it does not have the ability to cook. Halachically, it does not have. You able to see this? We can go bigger. Yeah. Here's the space. Einoi Vash does not have the ability to cook. Halachically does not have the ability to cook. However, we discussed that we are strict. We don't put anything in the cliche besides certain things they could put in. We'll go over more detail. So however, you have over here, so in the Bishul, gonna put over here, yes. The Hachmir, one needs to be strict. Yes implies that you need to be strict. That's the right thing to do, not just. There's sometimes an expression, it's good to be strict, but it's yes, this is the right thing to do. One should be strict. Not to put anything in the cliche. Besides certain things you could put in. Then we have, we'll discuss that. And then there's Irim Miklisheni, Irim Vashel. Then we have Irim Miklisheni. Irim Miklisheni. Again, Irim Miklisheni. Yad Sevedis, not above. Yad Sevedis, not above Yad Sevedis. We're not discussing above Yad Sevedis. Is Einoi Mevash. And Einoi Mevash doesn't have to go to cook, so there's no problem. Or cliche on anything, there's no problem at all. Now we talk about cliche Yad Nichus. Shani Yad Nichus. And your hands get burned. It's burning hot. Over here, this has the ability to cook. The Bashil has the ability to cook. And we are discussing now clearly putting into Klisheni has the ability to cook. Yad Nichus is higher than Yad Zeledis. You can't put any, it's not anything that wasn't cooked yet. Eating the Klisheni Yad. What about eating the Klisheni Yad? Is this clear to everyone? You can see this? Yeah. Eating the Klisheni Yad Nichus. Mikri Shani Yad Nichris. This is going to be, so here we have more details, and it depends on what. It goes like this. If you pour into a clean shani that's burning hot onto what? If you're pouring on something that's dry food, if it's something that's dry, Dover, Yavish, something that's dry, then this amachloikus. I write the vash, okay. Practically the vashel, just so you know, the vashel cooks, meaning you shouldn't do it. And the reason is because it's amachloikus, if the right thing is to be strict. But if it's on Dover Lach, or I write this right, mashkin on liquids. If it's a mashkin for something moist, something wet, then they have a mashkin. Better to keep it to liquids because it's just something that's moist that could be different. There's no moisture. There should be a certain amount of liquid there. You're pouring onto liquids. So then, it does not cook.
Wait,
Okay.
this is when you pour liquid onto something dry, you say?
Huh?
Is
Right.
it you pour some liquid onto something dry?
So you're pouring from a cliche. Is it clear when I say cliche, or should I bring cups and she can see exactly what I'm doing?
Yeah,
To put what? Yeah, what?
I like example. Yeah, like you said, bring that.
That's well, okay. Yeah, actually, a couple of them with it. I was trying switching and ends up away.
Let's get two cups.
That's what you're there back.
So two cups, one is
But at no point did it like make the sound. So I was like,
Right, but the cup, the cup is always a cliche. The cliche is the pot that you cook in. But this is a pot. But what now, this is a big pot, yeah. So, here's the pot. And from the pot, this is the pot. And from the pot, it runs in cliche. So cup is always a cliche.
Could you give an example of like when we pour like water onto something dry?
Oatmeal.
Coffee, onto sugar. You pour it.
But I
from
thought you
cliche.
can't do it if you do oatmeal. Yeah, but it's only when it's in the pot.
Oatmeal is a problem, yeah, oatmeal is a problem with cooking too, same problem.
What about the ladle being
Oatmeal get a
liquid?
problem with kneading, because if by pouring it, it blends it together, that could be an issue. Hmm?
Can the ladle be cliche, you know, that why like soup is allowed?
Later was quite, we're gonna get to later. Later was questionable. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's supposed to be.
much. Wonderful, sorry. I'm sure I can remember.
This part doesn't-
This is cliche. This is literally cliche. Water in it. This is cliche. Okay, so. The saying over here, if the part of cliche, let's say this water is very hot, is it? Maybe, I don't know what category it is. Let's say it's really burning hot. And I want to put milk into here. So I'm pouring from here into the cliche. So that's okay. Eating the vashim. I want to pour from here onto the sugar, onto the coffee, then you should not do it. Now we have over here, ein bishul after bishul. Yeah? Where?
Second, that's fine.
Onto liquid. You pour it onto liquid.
Okay, on milk. But if you don't drink with milk, so.
You don't drink coffee with milk?
Yeah, if you just want on Shabbos, then like from the second, like the sheni, the shlishi, and you have sugar on a bottom, so you're gonna melt it.
So you cannot pour from here onto this. So you pour onto an empty cup. You pour from here, this is empty. You
Right.
pour onto here, this is a klishlishi.
Yeah.
But now you can put whatever you want. According to most opinions, oh, why
What's
did I
the
put
difference?
klishlishi?
If it tastes.
Oops. Klishlishi, you have to put klishlishi here. My old other sheet, I didn't have it. Okay, so klishlishi, looks like 1 second. More again. Klishlishi is over here. Klishlishi. Klishlishi. So if it's Yahtzee like this. Yahtzee like this. The Vasho, there's no problem. And pouring from Klishlishi, of course, it's always a step below. That's a step below. So of course, if you say Klishlishi Yahtzee this in the Vasho, then pouring Klishlishi onto something, of course. Then you have Klishlishi. Yahtzee. Machlekes. Machlekes, most opinions say a klishlishi yanichus is no problem. My father holds a klishlishi yanichus is an issue. Sorry, you were in the middle of saying something. Can I answer your question?
Thank you. What's the difference if I pour into the sugar and I'm gonna melt it, so it's not like we can do this? It's prohibited, but what's the difference if I then add sugar into hot liquid? It's gonna again leave.
Okay, so now it's a matter, it's a cliche, because it's not a cliche. This is a cliche, you know, you just got the hot water, yeah, cliche. If the coffee is in here and I pour it right onto the coffee, then I'm being hit, the coffee is being hit by a cliche. A cliche is hitting it. But if you get empty and I just pour water, now it's a cliche. Cliche is a new category. Now I'm putting in. According to most opinions, it's okay. My father is strict. If it's Yahtzee, my father holds he should. I'm not, but I'm looking through all the sun, most opinions only means. Okay, so now we have over here, let's put now, a vision of a mission. It's when you left off, a vision of a mission. Guys, we over here. A vision. Cover. Yeah, kind of dry, like. Make again. A vishal achavishal, once it's cooked, there's no recooking it. You can't transgress your recooking it, it's already cooked. Even though it's cold and I make it burnt piping hot. That's not cooking. So you made it hot, it's very nice. When you have cold spaghetti, dry, put it in. It's not called cooking. If it's davrach, when it gets moist, when it gets wet, then yesh vishal achavishal. Then there is cooking after cooking, which means So it's actually a machlokes. I'm writing yesh mishnah habishma, I'm writing machlokes. And I'm emphasizing that yesh mishnah habishma, there is cooking after cooking, because the law is that we can treat it like you're cooking. If the water became cold, the water became room temperature, that's when you say cold in halacha, you know, the halacha of Bishul, it says cold, hot, cold means room temperature. In terms of halachic purposes, it's cold, it's room temperature. So now, if this water became sitting there by the end of class, it's going to be room temperature. Now, I want to drink it. I don't want to drink it, but I want to add hot water, so it should be comfortable, not just room temperature. I want to go to the announcer and then add more hot water. We'll go directly into here. So now we're recooking the water that was cooked already. So we say, yes, this traditional. Allah is that there is cooking after cooking. There is considered cooking. Yes, it is cooking, which means you're not allowed to do it, because I'm recooking it. If the water is still warm, right? Maybe every class might still be warm. It's still warmish. I want to add more water, then it's okay. Because what's the reason? I'll never sort of technically I'll never compromising between both opinions. It's not really what it is, compromising, which one is it? But the whole explanation I've gone into it, so for practical purposes, we could call it compromise because according to the opinion that it's called cooking, if it's still warm, you still can't recook it. Even though it's still warm, but if you're adding hot water on it, you are recooking it because it's not yatzilibus anymore. Now, Tzilibus says as long as it's still warm, it's okay to add more hot water and quote unquote recook it because it's not lenient. In this situation, we could be lenient and it's okay. Okay. So then we have yesh bishul achia. It is yesh bishul. This section of but halacha, we need to be machmir, we need to be strict. That there is cooking after baking. What does it mean cooking after baking? That means if you have, let's say, croutons, you have challah, matzah, you want to put it into the hot soup. Is that called cooking it? It's already cooked, already baked. Now you're cooking it. I'm cooking the challah. It's baked already. When are you cooking it? It's machlokes. One of these says, yes, you're cooking it, you're boiling it. It's already baked. Yeah, it was baked, sure, but it was never boiled. The first time it's being boiled. It was baked, but it was never boiled. So we have to. Okay, we'll get to the practical application. We're talking about the halacha. You take off the pot of soup off the fire, and you want to take while it's in the kli rishon, let's say. Let's say just a simple case. A kli rishon, we're saying kli rishon has the ability to cook, but if it was already cooked, you're not going to recook it. So we're saying, is this called cooking? So we're saying yes. The halacha is that it should be strict, even though it's baked already. But this opinion says it's considered cooking because it was never cooked. It was never boiled before. It was baked, but it was never boiled. So you cannot put it inside the kli rishon. Just to be a little more specific, without confusing anyone, that is that even though both of these cases are machlokes, when you take room temperature liquid and you recook it, and in the case of the matzah or the challah, but here the stringency is stronger, which means that let's say that the evid, if you did cook it. If you did recook the cold liquid, the room temperature liquid, you're putting it in hot water, because you cooked it on Shabbos, you cannot eat it. Generally, the person desecrates Shabbos. You cannot benefit from the malacha that he did, generally speaking. Over here, if you already did it, you're not allowed to. Right, it's supposed to be strict, but if you did, the Yevid, you will be able to eat this challah that you put into the pot of soup. So. The Yevid, it comes out different because of the opinions, because of the strength of each opinion. So the Alter is lenient that if you did, you could be lenient and you could eat it. But halachically, you have to be treated the same way, you have to be strict. Okay, so now let's go back and go into more details. Now we have this clear. We go into more details. Let's have over here. We go to starting getting late, so I'm going to go over quickly what we did right at the beginning of the class. The new thing that we mentioned. And then is you cannot stir a pot of food while it's on the fire. Even if the food is already cooked, you cannot stir a pot of food on the fire because usually when it's on the fire, it's not cooked, the phone will break. And we said this concern, you might come to stir it when it's not cooked. So even though it's completely cooked, you cannot stir the pot while it's on the fire. And you cannot also scoop out with a ladle that's included in stirring. Off the fire, halachically you could stir, but Alter says it's good to be strict and not stir a pot of food even while it's on the fire, off the fire. Even if it's completely cooked, one should be strict and do not stir a pot of food even when it's completely cooked and it's off the fire. You could scoop out with a ladle when it's off the fire, when it's completely cooked, but you should not scoop out while it's on the fire. So while it's on the fire, we don't scoop out food, because that's a miniature form of stirring, which you cannot do on the fire. Clear? Yeah. Okay, so we go back to over here. Give more details on this in here. Okay, so clean issue. On the clean issue, you can't put anything. Once the answer is take the pot of food off the fire, and you cannot put any salt, you can't put any practically what you're going to put raw vegetables, you want to put salt, it's just pepper. You cannot put anything in the pot off the fire. There is a situation where you could put into clean issue. And that is if it's not Yatzilevis. If it's not Yatzilevis, then you could put it in. However, the Alter says that it's good to be careful that even if it's not Yatzilevis, you should still not put anything into a Kli, because usually a Kli is Yatzilevis. So the Alter says it's good to be careful that even if the pot is not Yatzilevis, I mean it's very comfortable, it's warmish.
Like room temperature?
No, room temperature is colder. Alter is not strict where it's really room temperature. Never strict when it's not Yatzilevis, but it's still warm. It's sort of like it could be confusing between them. Not it's still warm. It's Yatzilevis warm. It never says if it's still warm, even though luckily you could put anything in, it's good to be strict because you might want to put it in even when it's Yatzilevis. Okay, so we cannot pour from a clean rishon, which means I have my drink of it, it's really room temperature, I go downstairs, I want to add more hot water into it. That's called irradiation. I cannot do that. There is a situation that I'm allowed to do it. That I could pour from a clean rishon onto room temperature liquid. And that is if I'm just adding a little bit. About this half full now. And now I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to add a little bit of hot water. It's not going to change the temperature of the water. I'm putting in very little. Sometimes a person has a cold drink, not comfortable. Some people don't like. I personally don't like cold drink, and I want to take away the chill. So I'm going to put it under the lid and add a little bit of hot water. So it's immediately creation. I'm pouring from creation. Which we said, it's the ability to cook. But if it's such a small amount of hot water, it's not doing anything. It's just taking away the chill of the water. So that's okay. Now, you might say, but what do you mean? But isn't it cooking the top layer of the water? If it was with solid foods, it would be an issue. But because it's liquid, it mixes right away. That's why it doesn't have the ability, nothing happens. So you can't even say, well, what about the top layer? It mixes immediately and it doesn't do anything. Cliche, spoke about a cliche in Yatsi Levis, not above. So discussing here, if it's not part of the Yatsi, it's not Yatsi, so you can burn yourself. It's just Yatsi Levis. So here, Ain't a rational, doesn't have the ability to cook. So halachically you can put anything you want, but yesh achli. Alter says you should be strict. Don't put anything in a cliche, even though it's only out to lettuce, because it might cook. Besides, which things could you put in? What could you put into a cliche? Remember yesterday? What could you put into cliche? You said all liquids. Now, it never says you can put in all liquids. No, you think about something else. You think about reading I'm not sure where. What can you put into cliche in Yatzilevis? Yatzilevis, but not above. Remember, not above Yatzilevis. Yatzilevis, but it's not burning hot. Maybe in the class you go into more details about it. Is it safe to go into more details? How do you think it's the temperature? But so what could you put in a
Is it
cliche?
somehow connected we learned about beans, meat, no?
That's something else. No, that's something else. It's something else. We
Okay.
can get to that.
I forgot.
No, it's something else. So you could put in all liquids. Now, the number says you can put in all liquids in the cliche. According to other opinions, it's only water. Now, today says you put all liquids into cliche, and he says also spices. Spices like onions, practical, but I'm saying these are the things we ought to put in: onions, spices, and all liquids can be put in the cliche. Yatsi lettuce.
Wait,
Not
sorry.
discussing yatsi, not when it's burning out.
Can you give an example? That's like if you have the water urn, you have a cup. Or you'd be like, what's an example of like having like a
The cliche. Make an example of there. Take hot water from there. Yeah, now I want to add some milk into it.
Oh, okay.
So if the urn is not burning hot, some urns are piping hot, and some urns are like, like some people when they coffee and they say the water is not so hot.
Yeah.
It's not so hot. It's hot, but it's not. People want it nicely.
Yeah.
Let's say it's that type of urn. So let's assume, I can't say for sure, assume it's not burning out, it's only out to lettuce. So now I can put the milk directly into it.
Thank you.
Okay, now we go to eating cliche, Yatsi lettuce, not higher than Yatsi lettuce, no problems. I can pour from cliche onto anything, no limitation. Cliche on nichnis, it has the ability to cook. So you don't put anything to cliche if it's burning on. You treat it like a clean rishon, exactly the same. Cliche, Yatsi lettuce, it's not have the ability to cook. Pouring from cliche is the same. Does anybody? I don't think that's just told me. So sometimes I assume that it's simple and I just go a certain speed and. Huh? Huh? Yeah? Okay. Cliche, it's a cliche burning out. Let's see if the urn downstairs is really, really hot. They just brought me a cup of water. Cliche, it's burning out. I can't put anything inside. Shlishi Yatsi lettuce. If it's a Shlishi Yatsi lettuce, it's not burning out, it's a Yatsi lettuce. It does not have the ability to cook. There's no problem. I can put anything into a Shlishi. Yeah.
I don't know the whole point of doing teaching and teaching is so it loses the temperature. So how could it even be burning hot at those 2 points?
It doesn't exactly lose the temperature. I once tried it. You transfer it to many cups and it can still be very, very hot. And the question is, why is it that when it's a klishlishi is okay? It's a big discussion. Why is it a klishlishi is okay? We're saying according to halacha, if it's a klishlishi, there's no problem. According to most opinions, even if it's klishlishi and it's burning hot, you're allowed to put everything inside. What's the reason? The logic is that the fact that it's transferred, it weakens the power of the water. It does something to the water, even though it's burning out, but it weakens it. The fact that it was transferred, that itself weakens the water, weakens the temperature. It weakens not the temperature. The temperature doesn't go down so much, but it weakens the power, the effect of the water. We said there's also another reason why like step one, you go to cliche, it doesn't have the ability to cook. Shabbos explains because the walls aren't hot. When the issue is on the fire, so the walls are hot. Cliche, the walls are not hot. But it's also because it weakens the power of the water. That's the logic. So what we have Klishlishi, Yad Nichlis, okay, is clear so far. Klishlishi Yad Nichlis, it's burning out. The Machlekes, discuss the Machlekes, most opinions say no problem. My father says it should be strict. Be careful with Klishlishi Yad Nichlis. Yeah, you good so far? Clear? Yeah. So we go to Davi Yavish. Here, eating with Klisheni. I think we discussed this already. This part we did. Again, we do this again. Eating with Klisheni. Pouring from the Klisheni. I just got boiling water here downstairs, and it's boiling hot. I want to pour from Klisheni. It's not lit because I want to pour onto something else. I want to pour onto coffee, onto sugar, onto Davi, something dry. So we say the Vashal has the ability to cook. However, it's a machlekes. It's a machlekes because just like here it's a machlekes, Yad Nichlis, here it's a machlekes. Some opinions say because in Shulchan Aruch it comes out when we pour into the klisheni. Let's take pouring from the klisheni Yad Semedes, not above, pouring from the klisheni. In Shulchan Aruch it comes out, everyone agrees there's no problem because if in the klisheni we are strict. We say it should be strict. But once you pour into the klisheni, if it's Yatsi levels are not higher, then it's a green light. There's no issue at all. Or the klisheni Yad Nichlis, you have opinions that also want to be strict. So it's very much the same. Actually, it would come out to the same. If father for sure be strict, could be other things would be strict. The bottom line is there are different opinions, different views, if you have to be strict or not. In other words, it's a step above klishlishi. Step, I mean, it's stricter, right? Because it's coming from klisheni. Klishlishi yanichnis, putting into a klishlishi, running out, is definitely better than pouring from a klisheni. You always have to remember that. When you step above, it's stricter because it's from a klisheni. The step below the klisheni itself, because it's pouring from the klisheni, but it's stricter than the klishlishi. Yeah?
You already put out the minimum for the dry and the wet. Yeah,
The definitions of dry and wet.
like underneath it, like over, or what, then it's already out, if that's dry.
Oh,
It's
that's
right
right.
on board.
Oh, okay. Very good idea. Like this, if it's dry, if it's mashkin, or mashkin liquid. Good.
Yeah, thank you. Also, what's the temperature for yard to weather?
Anywhere from 108 and above is already, there's different opinions, it's not clear in Shulchan what exactly is the temperature. So it's anywhere from 108 to 160. Okay, let's clarify this. Now, I have a boiling cup of water, I just got a piece of cliche, let's say, and I want to pour onto liquids. No problem. I want to pour onto milk, it's not a problem, it's okay. Okay, let's go discuss this a little more. So we have over here liquids. Actually, we discussed this already. We discussed. Davalach is, huh? Davalach is something wet, like liquids, wet.
Okay.
Right, so wet, once it's wet already, then it's considered to be cooking. We discussed already, it's clear? Yes, Bishul Achinafia, this is, I want to put croutons, I want to put carbon monoxide into a hot pot of soup. You're not supposed to do that. So what about, so let's discuss,
Oh my gosh.
okay. No, but here's another interesting thing. I want to show you something over here. I want to show you a situation where this would be okay. I have a cliche yad nichlis. Boiling, it's got a cup of boiling water, cliche. I cannot put any milk into it, right? What is the situation where I will be able to put milk into it?
So a little bit.
What is it?
You put a little bit.
A little bit of milk? No, once again. I have a cup of cliche of piping hot water, not difference. I cannot put milk into it. When could I put milk into it?
Water,
What?
when it cools down.
I felt like you almost had it.
Okay.
You were like close to it,
Not
and
to
then you went
cool
away.
down the water, not to change the temperature of the unit. So you need to put like amount,
A little in the,
a little
you're
bit.
not.
Let's have a
using
small
it.
amount of
You
hot
don't have
water. And I
concession to cool down the liquid.
You go like
think
this.
you're saying it. Yeah.
For taste.
What?
I think what I'm saying.
It sounds like you're saying it, but I didn't get it clear.
Like you only pour a little.
A little,
Yeah.
that's, why is a little good?
A little, you're not.
A little bit of hot water, a little bit of milk.
No, a little bit of milk at a time. You're not.
Have a full cup of hot water, right?
Yeah.
I can't put any liquids. You tell me I put a little bit, then it's okay?
Oh, you can put any, okay.
Okay.
Please, you're allowed to do a little.
Please shade your own, you know. This is the cliche.
We said that if I have cold water and I want to add hot water, I can put a little bit of hot water.
Okay.
And hot water won't cook the cold water,
Right.
right? Now I want to put cold into hot,
You have to put a lot of milk.
a lot of milk.
Oh.
I have a small amount of hot water and I'm putting a lot of milk now, listen to this, all at once.
So you're talking
No,
about.
it's the
I have to
opposite.
put it all at once, put a little bit at a time, then I'm getting into trouble every time.
Oh, they're gonna warm up.
You put it all at once, so if you have a small amount of hot water and I put a larger amount, it's to be majority, a large amount of milk, and I put it all at once, it's not gonna cook, right?
Yeah, right.
Then it's okay. I mean, you know what you're doing, you're careful.
But if you want coffee with a little bit of milk, so you just do it in a cliche.
Correct, yeah, exactly, I'm just discussing cliche. Absolutely, cliche, put it to cliche, cliche according to most opinions, even though it's yad nichlis,
Right.
most opinions say it's okay,
Okay.
and you can do that. Okay? Take a picture of that.
Yeah. How does your dad have coffee then?
Yeah,
Does he use like 5 cups?
That's not gonna help.
Oh.
My family, no one has the. They just bring plain out water, I'm gonna get my phone and take a picture of it.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that was such an. I recorded it. Again. He's like, all the time. He's working on it, like the baby. That's what we're doing.
Walk around the box. Oh, after that.
Laura, are we gonna play now?